Alrighty, we should be good to go. We should now be live. Tonight we are here for some severe weather coverage across portions of the Ohio River Valley as well as across much of the southern plains. Right now we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for downtown Springfield, Illinois. This is for damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour and potentially some small hail as well. So if you're out here along I-72 near or in Springfield, make sure that you are getting indoors and away from windows immediately. This severe thunderstorm is going to be moving through the downtown Springfield area within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Currently, we're watching these storms collide across portions of North Auburn, areas east of Jacksonville, and more. We're going to continue to watch these push off to the east-northeast, where they're going to be able to take advantage of this heavily unstable environment and potentially even strengthen further. So, this is not the only storm that we're watching right now. We've also got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the northwest side of Kalamazoo, Michigan. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning for Alamo. This is for quarter-sized hail. As you can see there, we've got a nice little pop-up thunder shower bringing some heavy rain and, again, potentially some large hail as well to areas on the northwest side of Kalamazoo. This is actually a live look from Kalamazoo right now. You can see all that heavy rain coming down, some distant lightning as well. So definitely got ourselves a system to watch tonight here across portions of the Midwest. Um, Earlier today, we did have a event ongoing in the Southern Plains. Currently, we're watching these thunderstorms across North Texas continue to push further south and slowly but surely weaken out as they enter the DFW Metroplex. But I would not be shocked to see another severe thunderstorm warning or two here over the early nighttime hours. We do have that slight risk of severe weather remaining in effect for much of North Texas and southern Oklahoma, but in the next SPC update in about 27 minutes, I'm going to guess that is most likely going to be removed. We've also got a severe thunderstorm warning going on for portions of South Fort Smith, Arkansas. Actually, the entirety of the severe thunderstorm warning remains on the Oklahoma side of the state line, though. And this severe thunderstorm warning is for damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour and potentially some penny-sized hail there, actually. On the velocities, you can highlight that area of high wind gusts. So, again, that's going to be moving through areas along Highway 271 near Braden over the next several minutes, kind of as we speak here. But, yeah, I mean, we're not watching anything super intense tonight. The main reason we're actually doing this stream is to talk about tomorrow, because tomorrow looks like it could be a somewhat interesting day, not just for severe weather, but potentially a tornado threat. As you saw, we do have a dual slate risk of severe weather, but we also have a 2% tornado probability across much of southern Kansas and north Oklahoma, and this could actually get upgraded to a 5% tornado probability by tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about why more later into this stream. But before we do that, make sure to click that like and subscribe button down below. If you're not aware, we do this every day for areas all across the country. Whether it's severe weather, winter storms, or hurricanes, we've got you covered. So let me go ahead and pull up stream chat here. Let me know where y'all are tuning in from. Let me know how you guys are doing tonight. Again, we do have a little bit of severe weather watch here across portions of the Midwest, but we're mainly actually going to be forecasting for tomorrow's severe weather event during this live stream. But I hope you all are having a fantastic day. How's it going, everybody? Okay, let me go and get stream chat up here just very quickly. Stream chat is are you serious? Do we not have a chat? Is this a joke? We don't have a live chat. Why? Is it just not loading? Oh, there we go. We've got a live chat. What's up, Kevin, Sam, Misty, Vincent? How's it going, everybody? Jog. For some reason, it told me that we didn't have a live chat, and I had a panic attack for a second there, but we are good to go. Again, I got worried because that had not happened in a really long time, but we're fine. Again, I do appreciate all you guys for tuning in tonight. You're tuning in from Eastern Oklahoma, I'm sure. Yep. Where's the drought-busting rain? I mean, it's all across here, across much of central Illinois. I mean, we're watching this system of showers and thunderstorms move through the Springfield metro region right now, as we previously stated, but this is soon going to be sweeping across much of central rural Illinois and then eventually into portions of northern Illinois and far northern Indiana as well. You can see overnight, if we take a look at the HRRR's future track, you'll note that some of these showers and thunderstorms are going to be quite heavy here for quite a while. And then as we go into the early morning time hours of tomorrow, we're going to be watching for much of the same across western Kentucky, northwest Tennessee. We're expecting precipitation totals to actually be decently high at some of these areas by the end of this event, which is good on the one hand because obviously these areas have been facing an extreme drought some of these areas literally being under the classification of a extreme drought by the Climate Prediction Center, especially across much of western Kentucky and southeastern Missouri, obviously. But if we go ahead and hyper focus in here on western Kentucky, you'll notice that some of those 4-inch rain totals are across the Paducah, Kentucky area. Now, obviously, it's somewhat unreliable to take one run of the HRRR model and see where the highest rain swath is and say, okay, that's where we're going to see the most rainfall. But if this did happen in a more so populated area like Paducah, we could potentially be watching for some localized flash flooding as well, which would obviously not be a good thing. So we'll keep an eye out for that in the overnight hours. But yeah. What's up, Spooky Central Illinois EAS, Chonkita Studios? Again, if you are new here, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's see if we can get to 30 likes this stream. That would be a W. But I do appreciate all you guys tuning in. We are currently at 6 likes. Again, mainly watching the cluster of severe thunderstorms moving across the Springfield region as of right now. Again, if you're traveling along I-72 near Springfield, now would be a good time to get off. Again, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning for damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. So especially if you're in a high-profile vehicle, make sure that you are watching out here. Again, not necessarily super unstable environment, but it is enough to the point where we are going to watch for some severe thunderstorms across much of Illinois. Now, if we take a look at our surface-based instability out here, you'll note that some of our regions across, again, much of central and even parts of northern Illinois get up to 2,000 joules per kilogram of surface-based instability, which for late September, honestly, is quite high. It's not too often that you see that, and our wind shear content is highly minimal, but again, it is kind of just enough to fuel this threat for severe weather, and that is why we do have that marginal risk in place across much of the Midwest tonight. Give me just a second here. I did not get employed. I don't know who started that, but I no. we don't get jobs here. We do actually have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings going out for portions of northwestern Iowa and southwestern Minnesota, or severe thunderstorm warning for parts of I-90 near Adrian, Minnesota actually does have the tornado possible tag associated with it. This is for golf ball sized hail and damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. Again, I don't see much rotation associated with this at this point, and again, it is an outflow dominant thunderstorm, but we did at least have some broad rotation for a little bit. Yeah, no, that was not a joke. I did hurt my wrist today. I was swinging and I got my arm caught, and then I scraped it on the ground while swinging very fast, and it hurt very badly. But yeah, I put a band-aid on it for a few hours because, I mean, there was a little cut. I just didn't want it to get infected, but we're good. But yeah, I mean, it still kind of hurts a little bit. And you can't really see it anymore, but you can kind of see the scrape. Band-Aid promotion. I don't, maybe we'll get a Band-Aid sponsorship. That's what we'll do. Happy birthday. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, I'm turning 67 today. Anyway. Again, we are going to continue to watch this complex of showers and thunderstorms here across much of Illinois, but it's likely just going to bring the threat for heavy rainfall. I will say, though, about 30 minutes ago, we did get a report of a tree blown down onto a house in Jacksonville, and again, that is that same complex of thunderstorms now moving through the Springfield area. And then again, we'll continue to watch our thunderstorms moving through the DFW region, but really these are just going to bring some nice needed rainfall out here. Again, any sort of severe weather threat was left for earlier today. We actually did have a tornado warning across eastern Oklahoma earlier today. There was actually some decent rotation with it. No confirmed tornado associated with that storm, though. We did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning across the Iowa-Minnesota state line for Ocheyedan. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that again. and then Round Lake and Sioux Valley across much of the Minnesota-Iowa state line. Again, that's for half-dollar sized hail and damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. If you're in this severe thunderstorm warning, make sure you are getting indoors and away from windows immediately. Again, that does include a very small section of I-90 there. Our severe thunderstorm warning for our storm in Michigan has been allowed to expire. We do have a flash flood warning now for portions of east central Oklahoma along I-40 west of Sallisaw. If you're included in this warning, make sure that you are avoiding driving in flooded roadways. And that is just a radar-indicated threat. But yeah, I think it's about time that we go ahead and discuss this severe weather threat that we're looking at for tomorrow, because while it's not the most robust tornado threat of all time, for late September, especially in 2025, this is something that I did not think we would see. If we go over to the Southern Plains, the newest run of the HRRR model doesn't necessarily show us a whole heck of a lot. If we go ahead and cherry pick a sounding here on the SIG-TOR parameter values, we go over to the 17Z. Yeah, it doesn't quite take us far enough, but we'll cherry pick a sounding here from North Texas. You'll notice that we do actually get a pretty decent sounding out of this. I mean, we've got ourselves some nice wind shear content, some decent instability, okay SRH, but if we go back to something like the NAM 3 kilometer model, this is where things get kind of crazy, so hold on to your hat. If we, again, go onto the SIG-TOR parameter values, and we take a look at them, you can see them just explode across the Texas Panhandle. Now, if we actually take a sounding from this area here, you're going to notice that it's decently intense. We've got ourselves incredible wind shear content. We've got really nice instability. Now, this is actually an elevated sounding, so that's not going to quite work as well, but the reason that we don't have that 2% tornado probability extending all the way back into portions of the Texas Panhandle is because we're not expecting convection that late into the nighttime hours. The real threat for any sort of brief tornado tomorrow would come across portions of northern Oklahoma and southern Kansas and potentially far northern Texas as well. It is a very spotty storm mode. It's, again, an okay looking setup for potentially a brief tornado here. I believe it was either the 12Z or the 6Z that was really going insane with the soundings here. Give me just a second. Let's see if we can find this. Okay, we're going to go back to the SIG-TOR parameter values so that we can kind of cheat here. Alright. Yeah, here we go. I think it was the 12Z. Yeah, it was definitely the 12Z. It was most definitely the 12Z. Alright, so here we are in southwest Kansas, highly contaminated. Let's go back to hour 41. Still slightly contaminated, but we'll take it. 80 knots of wind shear at the cloud layer, 300 0 to 1 SRH, nearly 2,500 instability, nearly 103 cape, really impressive lapse rates, a decent hodograph. I mean, this would be a genuine setup for not only a tornado or two, but potentially even a small-scale tornado outbreak if storm mode were to cooperate. Now, storm mode, according to the NAM, is likely going to be linear. Now, again, this has been forecasted in so many different varieties of ways, it's not even funny. If we go over to the HRRR model again, that same linear mode actually makes its way through northern Oklahoma as semi-supercellular. Now, again, a tornado threat cannot be entirely ruled out. If a tornado were to take place, it would be in the evening time hours to early nighttime hours across portions of northern Oklahoma and southern Kansas. We can't guarantee anything, but what we certainly can say is, hey, we need to be on the lookout for this. This certainly could be something. I would not be shocked to see us go live tomorrow evening. Now, again, the HRRR actually on the 12Z as well was going kind of nutty. If we take the sounding here from central Oklahoma, we were actually getting some PDS TOR soundings from the 12Z run of the HRRR. But again, really impressive wind shear content. I mean, 84 knots of shear at the cloud layer, 200 0-1 SRH is quite impressive. 83 cape, nearly 3,000 surface instability, a decent photograph. I mean, this is a legitimate setup for, again, a couple of tornadoes. And if we were to see a semi-supercellular storm mode, there is always that potential, that we could see maybe a SIGTOR. Well, again, it's a very far cry to say that this is going to be some sort of tornado outbreak, but it's not like it's entirely impossible that we do see something interesting tomorrow night. That's what I'll say for right now. So yeah, again, very, very hard to forecast for this event. It has been off and on with both the HRRR and NAM, which is why we haven't quite made a forecast for it just yet. I was thinking about uploading one late tonight, but I don't know. W ad there. Yeah, I don't control when the ads go off on the stream. I mean, I control the frequency, but... Hold up. We got to plug in the phone. There we go. Yeah, it's actually my birthday. No, I'm just kidding. My birthday's in February. I don't know why everybody was saying happy birthday. It just kind of happened. Hold up. This is how we do it. Here we go. We got the charger. Nice. Okay, again, if you're just now tuning in, we're watching a complex of showers and thunderstorms move through central Illinois. We're also watching some severe thunderstorms across the Iowa-Minnesota state line as they broadly rotate, although outflow-dominant storms. And then we've also got a tertiary storm mode that we're continuing to watch across much of North Texas, as we do now have a severe thunderstorm warning for much of I-20 near the Gordon area. But yeah, again, I mean, we're definitely too, I don't know what I was going to say. It was one of those times where I just started talking and I didn't know what I was going to finish my sentence with, and I just kind of hoped it would come to me. But it did not. Yep, we do have a slight risk tomorrow, again, driven by a damaging wind probability of 15%. But again, we do have that 2% tornado probability in place across much of southern Kansas and then northern and central Oklahoma. Again, would not be entirely shocked if we saw an uptrend in confidence in the models overnight to see a 5% get issued somewhere in there, but as of right now, it's far too uncertain. You're in the marginal for tomorrow? Yeah, I saw that. Again, we do have a marginal risk that goes across portions of the Ohio River Valley and then the Tennessee River Valley as well, actually, tomorrow. Again, that's mainly just going to be driven by a damaging wind probability, but that goes all the way from the U.S.-Canadian state line, U.S.-Canada border, back down towards Huntsville, Alabama. Yeah, I mean, the 2025 summer has been just beyond boring as it relates to weather. Here's something kind of interesting. We do officially have our second hurricane of the season. It feels kind of depressing to say that, considering we're past the peak. And yes, you heard me correctly. The second hurricane of the season out in the Atlantic right now. We'll actually just go ahead and pull this up on the NHC website so that I can show you guys a little bit better what we're talking about here. If we pull up the National Hurricane Center page here, you'll notice Hurricane Gabriel is now out there in the central Atlantic, and this is actually likely not going to make any impacts on United States land or United States territory. Although we are forecasting this to become a pretty large hurricane, actually, as it continues to push off to the north, and then we're expecting it to take an eastern shift by tomorrow morning. Again, second hurricane of the entire year the entire year. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Again, NHC does now have this going Category 3 by kind of late tomorrow night. So we'll see. Um, it would be kind of funny if we only had two hurricanes this year and they were both majors. Gabrielle? In what metric are you referring to this as an above average hurricane season? I'm curious. You're talking about, like, number of named storms? What's my music taste? Oh, literally all over the place. I mean, I enjoy hip hop more than pretty much every other genre in general, but you could catch me listening to something else as well. Well, this is, I mean, the only hurricane that has turned to the east this season. Um, Aaron went much closer to the United States than it could have. And again, hurricanes naturally favor latitude. Yeah, in terms of ace, wait, how much ace are we at again? I know it's ridiculously low. I don't usually keep up with it throughout a hurricane season, but this year I have because it's been super interesting. But it's been a little while since I've looked. Again, if you're just now tuning in, make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 30 likes this stream. We do this every day for areas all across the country. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for Springfield, but will be allowed to expire shortly. Likely not going to reissue it as our cluster of severe thunderstorms has now fallen apart into multi-semi-supercellular thunderstorms. Again, mainly due to that lack of wind shear out here. Well, the funny thing is next year could be an even more quiet hurricane season. If we go ahead and pull this up here, and we pull up the Enzo forecast, we've got an interesting mid-September outlook. We obviously are, entering that weak La Nina phase, but as we look further out, obviously things get slightly less reliable, but we're looking to be in a neutral phase by the spring, which could provide us with another well above average severe weather season next year. But what is that? Look at that little guy right there. Look at that. Obviously, we're very far out. Things still have time to change. But an El Nino next summer is not impossible. Now, it is worth noting that 2023 was an El Nino summer, and it still had an above-average hurricane season. So that doesn't necessarily kill a hurricane season in its entirety, but it definitely slows it down quite a bit. But, I mean, it would be kind of interesting, because we have not had a strong La Nina since our historic 2023 La Nina. Or, excuse me, we have not had a strong El Nino since our historic 2023 El Nino. But again, we are incredibly close to entering into a La Nina officially. Ignore my voice crack. Does this inactive hurricane season suggest an active winter? Not necessarily. However, if you look at analogs, I mean, they do coincide from time to time. Specifically, 2013, hurricane season was dead, and then we had a near record-breaking winter. And again, Enzo phase looked pretty similar then as it does for this winter, with a slightly higher focus on a La Nina phase this winter. Again, it would not shock me if we were in a neutral phase by the end of the winter, though. In fact, I think it's more likely than anything else. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily be too excited for Tennessee this year, Otter. What is the California Tornado of the Year? Honestly, I'd go with that January 5th rope. Or, sorry, January 3rd rope. You never know. I mean, last year we forecasted for a well less than average snow zone across the Gulf Coast, and then we saw the biggest Gulf Coast blizzard in all of history. So, I mean, it is hard to tell this far out, obviously. But again, this year in particular, I think this winter is going to be much more severe weather focused. I'm not necessarily saying that we're going to see like a 2022 to 2023 Dixie winter severe weather season, but it could be similar to that. It's definitely not impossible. And then again, next spring looks like it could have a decently active severe weather season. We've been in a neutral phase for severe weather season for like the past 3 years. Um, I would not be shocked to see a good nor'easter or two this winter. I uh, I do expect slightly more snow than average across much of New England. Severe thunderstorm warning for Springfield expires in 2 minutes. Davis, you should play football. I am 5'8". That's all I have to say to that. I do have some semi-interesting news. I'm officially a expert. I have great expertise in the field of Muay Thai. And by that I mean I've taken one class. Really hoping for one winter storm this season. Your 2023-2024 winter was really interesting. Um, that's kind of off topic, but Tennessee's winter storm in, I believe it was early 24, was incredible. Yeah, I don't know. I could definitely see this being another historic winter, though. But I think anybody saying that it's definitely going to be is feeding you some bad information. I'm already in band in Muay Thai. I'm not doing football. Yeah, DW has had the same winter forecast for like the past 4 years, which should tell you just how reliable it is. We do have a rogue severe thunderstorm now in Nevada, near the city of Eureka. Got some half-dollar sized hail damaging winds up at 60 miles an hour. Severe thunderstorm warning for Springfield has been allowed to expire, with not even a special weather statement replacing it. Again, if you're now tuning in, make sure to like and subscribe. But yeah, I would not be shocked if we're not here for too much longer. Very short stream tonight, but again, not a lot to talk about. The fact that you have a fall break is insane to me. The only fall break we have is Thanksgiving break. We only get 3 days off. But Illinois does have the longest school year out of any state in the nation. Can we talk about the fact that we had an 11-3 that busted last night and twisted with 1,000 SRH? Yeah, really the only thing that sucks for me is geometry. Everything else isn't too terribly bad. But geometry, I just can't physically sit there and be excited to learn. Algebra 2 is easy. Algebra 2 is. I don't think I've taken Algebra 2. Yeah, proofs suck. I take Algebra 2 next year, I think. But technically, they don't call it Algebra 2, they call it Advanced Algebra. But I'm assuming it's semi equivalent. Unless I took Algebra 2 my first year. I don't know. I don't know. Will we ever get a day in the life from you? Probably not. I don't know what SPS stands for. Oh, I didn't know what you were talking about. Yeah, that is a beautifully fake LP tornado. Look at it. I mean, that genuinely looks like a an LP hook echo with like a crazy debris ball. Again, if you're interested in tuning in, make sure to like and subscribe. We do this every day for areas all across the country. Yeah, I found this really interesting. I ran a poll uh, asking you guys whether you thought we were going to get another Tory this year or not. And surprisingly, most of you guys think that we are going to get one. Now, I'm not like making fun here or anything, it's entirely possible, but 53% of people said we are going to see one more tornado emergency this year. Now, in 2024, we did not have a tornado emergency after this time frame, but in 2023 we did. In 2022, I don't think we had a Tory after September. I could be totally wrong. Obviously, in 2021 we had several. But I mean, it's kind of interesting to see what you guys think on that. By the way, for the Xenia Gerald poll, I really figured Gerald was gonna dominate. Oh, that is true. Yep, we had the Idabel tornado. But yeah, I just found that interesting. By the way, if we take a look at DAT, our tornado outbreak, or historic tornado outbreak across North Dakota just several days ago, is now pretty much completed in terms of the surveying process. Was it September 15th? Was it really that long ago? September 14th? What? Okay, I did not realize it was that long ago. But if we go back to, oh my goodness, the voice cracks are back, chat. I don't know why, but they are. Um, if we go back to our September 14th outbreak here, we do have multiple EF2 tornadoes surveyed from the event. The primary one being the Denhoff, North Dakota tornado. This one actually destroyed a decent sized outbuilding. If we go south of First Street here, here is a image from said outbuilding. Again, this was rated EF2 with estimated peak wind gusts of 112 miles per hour. But if we zoom out here and we go a little bit further south and we go to our tornado that was near Horsehead Valley, this tornado actually got rated even higher. This outbuilding was rated at EF2 intensity with estimated peak wind gusts of 120 miles per hour. We need another reaction video. I know, I know. He is aimbot in Fortnite. Well, that was just vital information. Thank you for sharing. We do now have a report of power outages from Springfield. How's it going, Gma? Again, if you're just now tuning in, make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 30 likes this stream. We're at 21. Again, donations are completely optional, but they are highly appreciated. We're getting back into the swing of severe weather coverage streams here. Again, it's just been so unbelievably boring lately. I want to say the month of August was the slowest August we've had in a long time via tornado count. I could be wrong on that, but I think it was much slower than the past 3 years at least. And then obviously, if you go back to 2020, it's nowhere near as active as 2020 by tornado count. 2019 also had a decently impressive August. But yeah. We're now 7 likes away from the big 30. You guys don't have a band? That is insane. Wonder if Fuji'd ever considered Gerald an F6 before he passed. It's an interesting question, but I would say probably not. And most of that reasoning, I mean, if you're asking whether he simply had the thought, was Gerald an F6, certainly he has. I mean, he's definitely considered it, I would imagine. Now, you know, actually thinking that it was an F6 is a whole different ballpark, but what's up, Jesse? You changed your YouTube name. Vince, you're gonna have to fill me in on that after the stream. That's crazy. We're 6 likes away from the big 3-0. If you haven't already, make sure to like the stream. Jesse, you better start posting again. Dude, we got all the boys in here. We got Jesse, Levi, Vincent. Oh, you went live today? I don't think I got a notification for that for some reason. Oh yeah, you were literally live 2 hours ago. My bad. I don't know why I didn't see that. I don't think I got a notification for it. Going to bed, it's 2:11 a.m. I don't know how you do that on school nights. You stay up until 2 a.m. But props. I mean, I would have straight Fs if I did that every night. My channel was sending out notifications. Happened to everybody. That happened to me last night. Twister joined the call and he said he didn't get a notification for the stream until like half an hour into it. It's kind of weird. Your view time is my pleasure. Thank you, good sir. We're 6 likes away from the big 3-0. Peace out, Kevin. It is September 2025 and we're making 6-7 jokes. Brain rot of the year every year. 2025 is definitely 6-7. 2024 was definitely the low taper fade meme. Was Hawk 2 a 2023 or was that last year? I think that was just last year. What was brain rot of the year 2023? Was that the John Pork year? This year is definitely 6-7 though. Yeah, I've never seen a joke last as long as the 6-7 meme. I don't even know why. Like it's, I mean, it's brain rot. It's not supposed to be very funny, but I don't know. I mean, you can still say 6-7 today, and you will get somebody dying laughing. Five likes away. 5 likes away. Everybody check if you like the stream. We can do it. Dude, when is the last time we had 30 likes on a stream? It's been a while. Let's see what's popping. You uploaded a short today for the first time in like a month. Let's see. Yeah, last time we had 30 likes on a stream was 15 days. So. Honestly, that was probably only because it was a short stream. We're 3 away. Two away. That's like not funny at all, son. Also, I'm pretty sure you are capping. Let's see if the new HRRR runs out. Aha, we're good. Let's see what's popping for tomorrow. Severe weather, SIG Tor parameter. We're not quite far enough out. But, yeah, okay, so it doesn't have any over convection yet. We're one like away from the big 3-0. Yep, we've all heard that joke. Ooh. Okay. So new HRRR has this starting off semi-supercellular, at least for a brief period of time. It's, oh my goodness, it has had such an uptrend in instability. I'm sorry, what? Was the 18Z showing this much instability? Not even close. We went from 2,000 instability to 4,500 in 6 hours. Okay, if instability remains that high throughout the rest of this run, this could be big. I'm sorry, but that is insane. Gang, we need one more like. Hold up, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, I'll be right back, then we'll have the new frame, hopefully. My epic gamers, we have returned. Let's see what we're working with. Dude, instability is still at 4,000. We hit the big 3-0 likes, let's go. W. Yeah, that is insane though. What does storm mode look like? Dude, what an uptrend. We went from linear to supercellular and from 2,000 cape to 4,500. What an uptrend. Yeah, I saw that. That was I think it was for well, because if you look, it was the Gerald Zinnia pool, which I mean, it definitely it's obviously Gerald, and the fact that Zinnia won is honestly kind of shocking. But dude, my wrist actually hurts so bad. I seriously might have to go to the doctor and get that checked out. I really think I dislocated it. When that actually happened, TS hurt, bro. That was horrible. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do. I may not be able to work out tomorrow. I was gonna go to the gym. That's on Tuesdays, right? I have not quite looked out Tuesday yet. I'll be entirely honest. I've seen people saying it looks just as big as Monday, if not bigger, but I have not looked out to it personally, so I cannot comment on that. But yeah, I think tomorrow could definitely bring a very legitimate tour thread across much of Kansas and Oklahoma. I would not be shocked to see a 5%. Dude, yeah, that is an uptrend. What a storm would look like at this point. Yeah, I mean, it's still. If we can get something to pop off convection wise in Oklahoma, I guess it's an elevated sounding. In VM. You know what? Southeastern Oklahoma with the 93 knots of shear at the cloud later. Hear me out. Hear me the freak out. I think bro's reaching unk status. I don't know how I look old. I stopped wearing my glasses like on a regular basis, and everybody's been telling me that I look more mature. But I don't know. And really, I can see without them. I mean, it's not. Again, I'm nearsighted, but I actually do have a mustache, but it's not visible on camera, and it's all blonde, so you can't really see it anyway. You hopped on Omi for the first time. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to your life. All I can find are like 50-year-old. Well, I'm not gonna tell that story right now because people probably don't want to know the game. But dude, 18Z. What an uptrend. 92 knots of shear at the cloud layer. That is unbelievable. And again, I mean, it's an entirely linear mode at this point, but I think Dayton's EF4 is more than talked about enough. Well, not more than talked about enough, but I think it's properly talked about. Especially right after it happened. I want to debate about it? Yeah, let's do it. Let's run it up. I want to hear what he has to say as to why it's not talked about enough. Hold up, game. I'm still here. The population was absurd. You had all that time, and that's what you said. If you think Dayton wasn't talked about enough, I'm curious as to what you have to say about Cookville. Because I'd argue that Cookville was talked about even less. It was much more significant. Dude, I'm so tired. I think I'm just gonna go to sleep. G in chat. I wanted to stretch this stream out to an hour. Let's do it. Is that literally all you had to say, Sim? Sleep eludes me. By the way, when stream randomly ended last night, that was because my computer died. That's why it looped for like 12 hours. Because I just didn't bother to end it because it takes forever. And that was all he had to say. Hold up, Chip. I'm coming back. Back from the dead. Gang, what are the odds? What are the odds that Davis gets a date to Hoko? Because I'm saying a flat 0. Dude, I'm so tired. I don't know why. Gang, I think that might be the end of the stream. I do want to thank you all for tuning in. We had some pretty active viewership this stream. I really do appreciate that. Again, I'd say there's a pretty high chance that we're back tomorrow, at the very least, with an afternoon forecast, but probably a stream if I have time. So, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one, whenever that is. Have a great rest of the night. Peace.